Hi, guys. Fernandez Lembo on the grid. If it sounds like I've been gargling with razor blades, you're close. So I'll let John do most of the talking today. Actually, we're going to let our guests do a lot of the talking.
Yes.
We have Drew Lascari, the head football coach over at Cardinal Mooney. Drew, thanks for being on the show with us.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Hey, Drew, I did a story on you guys earlier this week talking about your second year there, trying to turn that program around. You were 2-9 last year. You talk about trying to raise the toughness, both mentally and physically, and get a family atmosphere at Mooney. Just talk about how that process is going.
Doug, I think that we're making tremendous strides, and just like you said and mentioned in the article, myself with our coaching staff and our school community, we are really trying to build a family atmosphere within this football program, but beyond this football program, our school community as well. Like I mentioned in the article earlier this week, I'm just a firm believer in the team that's going to play harder is the team that loves each other more. So beyond, the football field and the weight room, we're trying to do a lot of things off the field that, helps in team bonding and getting these guys to know each other more and love each other more so that they play harder for each other on Friday night. I think that the community has really embraced the concept, and we're really excited about where we're going.
Hey, Coach, Paul Meckley is on your staff, and obviously he's a legend around here. For someone like yourself who's new to the area, how big of a resource has he been these first couple years?
I would say whether I was from this area or not, there has been a big resource to me than Paul Meckley, just in terms of him being a mentor to me, especially as a young, new head coach. He has just taught me so much beyond coaching, just about being a man and a class. And that's everything that Paul Meckley does. And beyond that, he surely has helped me, get to know the lay of the land in the Florida area. But like I said, more importantly, he's taught me how to be a better man. And beyond his tremendous football knowledge, he's just an unbelievable person. And if I could aspire, to have a career like Paul, then I would truly be blessed. And I just think that sometimes you wonder, decisions that you made in life and how things came about. And, I truly believe that God sent me down here and this job specifically so I could work with Paul and learn from Paul. And I can't say enough about that man. He's just a tremendous coach, tremendous friend to me, and tremendous football mind. And I think that gets overlooked. When you get Paul on board, X's and O's, he's the sharpest guy that I've been around. And is just a tremendous leader for our team.
Coach, you came from Don Bosco Prep up in New Jersey, two-time national champion. Now you're trying to instill that down here in Mooney. You told me, football analogy, you're in the preseason in terms of turning around that program. Can you just expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that we obviously are a coaching staff and as a football community, we're setting our goals high. We don't know exactly, if we'll reach those goals or when or where, but we want to, to play at the highest level. And I think that right now, we're just trying to establish that wants to win for sure throughout our whole school community. Cardinal Mooney has a good tradition here. They have had a state championship here in 1972. And I know that we're so far away from that right now, but I do think that we're taking the steps necessary to become better and to become tougher. And I know that it's going to be a journey for us, but it has been enjoyable. And I absolutely love our student athletes here. I love the faculty here at Mooney, and I think that we are just getting started, and we have a ways to go. But we're looking forward to the 4 quarters ahead of us for sure.
You have anything else?
No, Coach. You've been fantastic. Just want to wish you best of luck against Tampa Berkeley Prep on Friday. And hopefully we'll talk to you before the season is over again. Just thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks. We're showing the need luck. We're playing a great team, so I appreciate that, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Best of luck, Drew.
Have a good day, guys. All
Take
right?
care. Bye-bye. Okay. That was Drew Lascari, head coach at Cardinal Mooney High School.
That was. Yes.
Doing a great job there so far.
Yeah, it seems like he has the right goals in mind.
Right.
I think he's and the fact that he was honest about it's going to take some time. That's good. That let's not rush things. Let's do things the right way. And of course, comes from a great program over at Don Bosco, as you mentioned. So he knows what it's like to build a winner.
Looking back on a lot of the games last week, they weren't games. A lot of them were washed out.
Yeah, Hermined out. Yes.
Right, Hermined out. You were at a game on Monday night.
Monday Night Football, yeah.
Manatee, assess where Manatee is. They gave a bunch of points in their first game, a loss. Defense played well against Palmetto, but they only scored 7 points.
Right.
Where is the Manatee program right now?
Well, it's hard for me to assess it because I didn't see the first game.
Right.
Obviously the numbers say the defense played a lot better. Palmetto as an offense is trying to figure some things out themselves. But Manatee did some good things. But look, 4 fumbles. They had 6 last year against Palmetto. So 4 fumbles. The passing game was a tick-off, and Coach Booth thought that might have been because there was a new center, and they didn't do a whole lot of work with passing over the week with the weather the way it was. So they have a tough assignment on Friday with Venice. That's a tough game as is, and they have, 3 days off?
Right.
So I'm curious to see how that's going to shake out, and Palmetto does as well. They're going to come right back and play Southeast on Friday. So not an easy week for either Palmetto or Manatee this week.
Yeah, sometimes pro players are used to having a short week. High school players very rarely only have 3 days between games.
And it's funny because I talked to Coach Booth on Monday night, and he said, the hard part is the recovery process because, Saturday and Sunday is when you recover, and they don't have that. So he said Monday night after that game, kids are heading into the locker room that night to go to the ice bath. So their recovery was starting right away. So we'll see if Palmetto did the same thing. We'll see how that works out for each team on Friday.
Hopefully we won't get rain this Friday, and the slate of games will be played. Just looking down the slate of games, we started our feature last week, Lock of the Week.
Right.
I think we were both 1-0.
I believe so.
So far.
I picked Charlotte, so yes.
Right. Now looking ahead to this week, your Lock of the Week is...
I like Riverview hosting Lakewood Ranch.
Right.
I think Riverview's playing really well right now. Ranch has some things they're trying to figure out, but I like the Rams winning that game with the Ramble.
Yeah, my Lock of the Week, I'm going to take Cape Coral Ida Baker is at Braden River.
I will be there.
Right. Cape Coral beat Northport 28-6. They're 1-1 on the season. Braden River was rained out. They beat Bayshore in the opening game 36-0.
Right.
Until further notice, we can't pick these teams the same every week. But Braden River is going to be probably favored in most of their games. So I'm going with Braden River, but we can't use them again. Can't use Braden River going forward. So I'll use them now. Let's just touch on what's going on at Booker.
Right.
It was kind of surprising. Rashid Goodwin, who's been there a couple of years, volunteer coach, abruptly stepped down yesterday. But if you look at the Booker team, they've gotten beat by an average of almost 35 points in both of their losses.
Right.
But more than that, there seem to be some discipline problems. There was the bench clearing brawl earlier against Riverview. Riverview didn't shake their hands at midfield because some of the Booker players were on their side of the field beforehand. Dumika Atkins, a former Tornado, takes over the program. He's in a tough spot, I would think, though.
I think it's always tough when you take over in mid-season, or not even mid-season, but still, we're still 2 weeks in, 3 weeks if you count the kickoff classic. So, yeah, definitely a challenging scenario, and we'll see how that shakes out over at Booker. The story that Dennis Maffezoli had today, they said it was personal reasons. So hopefully Coach Goodwin, straightens some of that stuff out, and we'll see how the Booker program looks going forward.
When you watch Booker, as I have done many, many years, they seem to have talent, but a lot of times a lack of discipline and penalties and mistakes really hamstring them. I'm sure Dumika's first order of business will be to clean up that, get some discipline, and really improve on both sides of the ball. So we'll see that going forward.
Yep.
Looking forward to the games. Looking forward to see if our locks of the week work. And we'll talk about that next week and the games next week.
And thank you again to Drew Lascari for joining us.
Yeah, let's thank Drew for joining us, and maybe we'll have another coach on next week.
Yeah.
And I'm done talking, thank God. So for John Lemble, I'm Doug Fernandez, and we'll see you next week on the Grid.